This pedigree chart is set up by the different families, and first starting out with Gina's family, her mom had the disorder, and we already established that the disorder was recessive, so that would mean that she would have to have two small d's in order to show the recessive disorder. And her father, he did not have the disorder, so he was big D, little d, but he had to have carried that gene in order to pass that on to both his daughter and son. So when they had a kid, their son, two small d's, he carried the disorder and expressed it, and so did Gina, so they both were two small d's. After Gina's brother married a girl who also had the disorder, which would also mean that she would have to have two lowercase d's, they had a baby girl who also had the disorder. Therefore, 100% of the time, they would be having the disorder, two lowercase d's. On Walter's side of the family, his father had the disorder, so he would be carrying the two recessive traits for it, and his mother did not. Therefore, she had uppercase D, lowercase d. She had to have had one uppercase D because his brother was normal, and since being normal is dominant over having the disorder, you only need one parent to give the capital D to the brother in order for him to be normal. But he had to have had and carried the lowercase d in order to pass it on to his son, which is kind of the key factor in all this in figuring out whether it's dominant or recessive. He then married a lady who did not have the disorder, but once again, since the disorder is recessive, she had to have been carrying that gene, therefore passing on two lowercase d's to the son. He would have the disorder, and she would not. She could have had two uppercase d's or an uppercase and a lowercase d like her mother. For Gina and Walter, they both had the disorder, which means that since it's recessive, once again, they would both have two lowercase d's. Their daughter, no matter what, 100% of the time with the Punnett squares, it's going to have the disorder, which would mean two lowercase d's. Since the son did not have the disorder, that results in an impossibility. I don't even know if I just said that right. It's impossible for that to happen because, as the Punnett square shows, 100% of the time, it will be two lowercase d's resulting in having the disorder. Since it's recessive and there is no dominant trait within Gina or Walter to be passed on to the son, therefore